Okay, dude, got OBS. Let's go. Body swap brand build XD. So you want to go Marauder, Chieftain. Ascendancy is here, here, here. This is how the tree looks like. You'd want to anoint this later on, and after you've anointed this, maybe you, well, it depends. I don't know how like war cries are going to fill, but maybe you can remove this. I don't know yet. So this is how the tree looks. Has great damage, lots of sustain and life. And yeah. So first, I'll talk about how the build works. Since body swap uses corpse to like blow up, I have a first setup, which is cast when damage taken. You cast desecrate, which is this. So it creates corpses. If you notice you don't create enough corpses in a single target scenario, you can just add spell cascade, so you create more corpses. In the same cast when damage taken link, you have blade blast, which you'd want to keep level 1, since it doesn't really, you don't use it to do damage, you just want to like inflict a nerve, which is a 10% increased damage taken on enemies. Wave of conviction to apply exposure, so reduce fire resistance. Use curses, pref assassin, just for more damage in general. Okay, so the reason why I have a cast when damage taken here is since we'll be using a few uniques in this build. Wait. So required items. So there's 2 uniques here, and this is not required. This is something I was working on before, but it doesn't really. It's bad. So there's a here. These things cost like 1 alk, or maybe if a chaos, and this thing costs around 10 to 40 chaos. And wait, oh shit. And this is more for late game anyways. So first of all, the build uses a staff, which will be your 6 link, since it will be using Calm's Heart for big HP. Wait. Where am I? Yeah. So first you have this amulet, which take fire damage every time you ignite, which you'll be igniting most of the time. So you'll always take like damage, and this damage will trigger your cast when damage taken setup. So you'll always be creating corpses in single target. Also, you'd want to use this ring, which is better than 99% of the rings in this case, since this ring allows you to ignite yourself. You shouldn't worry about the ignite because you have this here, unaffected by ignite, which means you can ignite yourself but you won't take any damage. Also, when you ignite yourself, you get like a massive 70% increased damage. And you also have a 2% fire leeches life. And this is an option, but it's kind of useless, so you don't need it at all. Wait. Where's the... Okay, this is the jewel I'll be talking about later. So first off, for this build, wait, I was at cast when damage taken. Okay, that's the mechanic of the build. Yeah, you'd want to anoint this later, or maybe just take it. But I would suggest just anointing it, because I limit my levels at 95 because I feel like I don't know, like all of my characters are around 95, and after that it takes like like forever to level. Uh, yeah. Auras. If you want to use zealotry and skitterbots, which I think is the higher damage for early game. Late game you can change zealotry for skitterbots for anger instead if you have like a crazy watcher's eye. But usually I think skitterbots are just better. I just think like anger is a pretty shit spell because it's pretty shit. Whatever. Also for the movement, your staff you'll want a specific mod on it, which is this trigger a socketed spell when you use a skill, which is a suffix you get from Syndicate, which is pretty easy to get. Um, if I sound like weird, it's because I bit my tongue and it hurts when I talk. Trigger socketed scam. Wait, triggers socketed spell when you use a skill. So this makes it so since your main 6th link is actually on your weapon, you can, since you'll have a brand recall on your left click to move around, you can just like use a movement skill when you enter a map. So you get one brand up, you just walk around, and since you're casting brand recall, you'll trigger a spell which is your brand, and from there on, you'll always have like your brands up. Also, you'll want Arcane Surge on the brand recall, so you free 13% more damage and also cast speed. Cast speed, if the new brand works like normal brands, cast speeds give you activation time, so it triggers more. On the same link, you'd want second wind and dash. Second wind's like the FX brand recall, but whatever. Uh, Late game, you can change dash and second wind for leap slam and fortify, just to have like fortify up, which I'm not sure you will, but it's always nice to have. But if you do this, you'll want to have like dash somewhere else because, like, if you ever want to dodge something really big, uh, yeah, you'll have to use a dash. And since you don't really need a travel spell, because you'll be like body swapping around to, you don't really care about like the dash. You just want it to, like for one dodge or something. The weapon will be a staff, which is 6 linked. Chest, comes heart. Just be careful not to put elemental focus on your your main link because you want to ignite. Yeah, and so let's see the offensive part of the build. You have like just from the tree you have 350 crit multi, and with this socket and this socket you'll want like good tools which are like life, spell of fire damage, and 2 crit multi mods, which will each give you like 30 crit multi. So you should be around just with the basic tree, like nothing on items, to up to like 400 crit multi, which is pretty huge. Okay, and you have a decent increased damage, of a lot of life, insane regen, which I'll talk about later, penetrate 21% fire res, and you, since your tree, like I pathed, whatever. I went all the way up here, so you have a bunch of intelligence for your gem requirements, so you shouldn't have stat problems. So yeah, the damage is pretty huge, especially since the corpses you're going to create are going to have like huge health pools here. And by yourself, wait, body swap. base damage is like around 200 with 3% of your life. Say you have like around 7,000 life, which you should be around, even more. Uh, it should add like another 200 something. So just the base damage is like okay. Also, there's a special mod on gloves that you want since it's really good like added fire damage against burning enemies. This is like a great mod just to boost damage. It's not mandatory though because you'll have so much damage. I think with this build. Okay. As for later on in the game when you have more currency, you'd want like a shaped staff with where is it? With socketed gems are supported by a power charge on critical strike. So power charge on critical gives you 4% more damage per power charge. This is the gem itself. So you have like 4 power charges. So you have this is like a free 16% more damage. Also gives you generates power charges, which you have this also to generate, but it's not that consistent in single target scenario. Okay, wait. Power charge. Also, when you get the power charge on crit, or even before, you're going to want this Militant Fate jewel over here, just here. So it transforms this node, which this is useless. Like, don't take this early on. This is garbage. So this will be transformed into inner conviction. Yeah. So basically what this does is it disables frenzy charges for you, and you get 3% more spell damage per power charge. So since you have like 4 power charges, you'll get 12% more damage, and this is multiplicative with the either power charge on crit, since the power charge on crit is like gives you more damage from the gem itself and not from the power charges. So power charges gives you a bunch of crit and a bunch of damage. What else? And also you use ignite for DPS. I think that's it. The fuck? Okay, so now onto the defensive dude. This is the insane part. So you have with this build you'll have where's charges? 6 endurance charges, and you'll have like a bunch of armor too. So you have like basically basically sorry, I have basically 6% life base per second. If you anoint this here, you'll have 1% life per second per endurance charge. Since you have 6 endurance charges, you'll have 6 per second. So these two is 12. You'll also be standing always on consecrated ground because of zealotry. So zealotry gives you like 20% more spell damage or so, and also gives you consecrated ground, which you'll have like up everywhere. Standing on it gives you 6%. Well, standing on it, just being on it, gives you 6% HP also, and gives you more crit. So in total, since you have 6 from base, 6 from endurance charges, and 6 from what do you call it? Fuck, zealotry. You'll have 18% life leech life regen per second, and also since you have this node over here from your ascendancy, 50% increased life recovery. Life recovery is actually a massive boost for regen because it's just like a multiplier on your regen. Also, you'll want to get an elder belt that gives increased life recovery rate. Also, use which one was it? Fertile catalyst, I think, on the belt, so it will boost like life modifiers. So the life the plus life itself, and also the increased life recovery rate, which is pretty insane. So in the end, you should have something like 70% increased life recovery. So you'll have like 30% increased life per second. Oh, I mean, regen. Uh, that's also not counting like enduring cry, because enduring cry gives you like massive regen, and like with this much regen and mitigation, you should be able to like face tank almost everything, and even shaper, maybe even the whole shaper beam. Hmm, is that all? Wait. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's all. Oh, also about like the trigger thing. Holy shit, I'm not sure if I explained it. But what happens is, since you have the trigger on the trigger spell, you can just go in the map, just anything once, and just walk around with brand recall on your left click, and it will automatically keep all of your brand up just by left clicking, so you never have to do anything else. And since like your endurance charge and stuff are on the cast one damage taken, they'll also be like on something else. I mean, you don't have to cast them. So basically, to map, you just have to like left click around and click your flasks. Also, I didn't find a length, a socket for it. You can use an unset ring, which is the ring that has one socket, if you can, to add in Vaal Righteous Fire, because it's just, dude. I think you could even sustain Righteous Fire itself. Oh my god! I just realized with 30%. Wait, with 30% life regen per second, and I think oh my god, I think you can just use Righteous Fire, which is like what, 30%? Wait. Righteous, I don't know, it's like a big more multiplier, and when you activate Vaal Righteous Fire, it's another big multiplier. So like your damage should be absolutely insane. And your regen is so high that I think you should be able to sustain Righteous Fire. I didn't really think about this before. Hmm. Wow, that's insane. Damn. And I think that is it. So late game, you'll have the last thing you want to add in to your build, which is not even that expensive. It's just the power charges, and after that, this build should be. I think on paper, it's absolutely. It's like so insane that, dude. Holy shit! The spell. I think it's fucking broken. They might nerf it. Anyways, uh, yeah, that should be it. I think I covered everything. Yes, please. Okay, that's all. Peace.